All right. So how is everybody doing? Good coffee. We managed to make the coffee machine work in the end. I was a little hesitant at that towards the end of that. My name is Miko. If I haven't shaken your hand today, I will try to make sure that everybody has experienced that with me. We've got Thanksgiving coming up. I hear it's a big tradition here in 3 weeks, but I thought we would start a little early this time. Let's start with Harness. Harness folks, where are you? Reveal yourselves. I see Sherman. There we go. Thank you so much for having us here. It's an awesome office. I hear it's quite empty on Fridays. I'm really glad that we could make good use of that. Thank you to Cast AI. They've got socks, in case you're wondering. They do, and they're available. Thanks to Kodiak, thanks to Hockey Stick, and the KDS user group. But more importantly, thanks to all of you. If this is like the first time you actually are coming to an SREday, you might have noticed it's not exactly backed by a billionaire or a big corporation like that. It's actually very grassroots. We've got a WhatsApp group that you can join if you want to scan the QR code while I'm talking, where a bunch of people are hanging out and they're just asking questions. There's a strict rule for no sales, and other than that, there are no other rules. What's SREday? It's the three of us. Mark, who this time forgot to take his spacesuit at the other conference in London a couple of weeks ago. You actually saw him in the full attire. Mark comes from film. He's actually a filmmaker, and now he's transitioned into tech with me. Myself, I'm an SRE. I spent the last decade in fintech, and this is a side thing that I do because it's fun to fly in 11 hours to hang out with you for 24 hours. And we also occasionally employ our little sister, who actually has exams at uni, so she couldn't make it this time. This year has been the first time that we actually expanded. We've been staying in London. That's where we are based. And this year, because too many people were bugging us about, hey, why is there not one in San Francisco and Amsterdam? We actually went and we organized them. So this is the second one in San Francisco this year. Thank you for coming. And we've got Amsterdam coming up at the end of the month because we like traveling. Not that it's a competition, but in London, we've got this nice cushy cinema where you can order food and it just comes and people fall asleep during the talks. Not a competition with Harness. Your office is amazing. Did you hear that? It's amazing. Next year, we're going a little bit larger again. Again, people in New York were like, oh, what happened to the East Coast? So we're going to do 2 of them. If you go on the website, last night we put the dates. 28th of Feb, we're going to do New York, in case you're not local or you don't like San Francisco as much. And due to popular demand, we're also doing Tokyo, because people like flying there. We're trying to decide on the best date, probably June. Don't make plans for late June if you want to come and join us. For today, the schedule is on the SREday.com website. We're going to take a coffee break after this when I'm finished boring you. And we're going to have lunch at 1, and then they're kicking us out at 5. So we're going to have a little bit of time afterwards to hang out because the talks will finish around 4 if I do a good enough job pushing people out. In terms of socials and photos, it's all going to be on LinkedIn. It's SREday if you want to tag us, and we'll be posting about stuff as well. Keep an eye on that. And finally, if you are not local, and you would like to bring SRE to your town, it's possible. We do that. Every SRE that we did outside of London was because of that. And finally, I've got feedback form for you. If you want to tell us what we did well, what we didn't do very well, and what we should do better next time, please do scan this code and tell us. We love feedback. Don't hold back. And with that, I'm going to switch up the gears a little bit because I've got a very young son. He's a month old now. And when I'm preparing for him to start talking, I realized that if he goes and asks me, so what exactly do you do all day on this computer? I'll be able to tell you. So I've been trying to basically, for my sake and for his sake, try to come up with the evolution of ops and try to explain from the beginning, what is it actually that I'm doing? And just 1 second, let me walk you through that. Just not sure. Okay, so the evolution of ops. By the way, do you know that it wasn't possible until very recently to generate a convincing picture of Triceratops with Midjourney, and now it's possible. So at this stage, I am fairly convinced that the AGI is upon us, and it's just a matter of time. So this is a Triceratops, and I promise it's there for a reason. So let's start at the beginning, right? Stage 1, I think we'll all agree, around 50,000 BC, we started with the primal ops, right? It was a lot of Perl, a lot of Bash, a lot of things that were just running unabated, cavemen, and ritualistic things. You had to have faith that things would actually happen. True nature was often hidden, right? Then at some point, somebody invented DevOps, and all of a sudden it was transcendent, right? We got agile, we've got walls breaking, and all the grand and amazing things that come with it, right? That we've heard so much at this stage that they probably don't mean all that much to people. So I think at this stage, until this stage, we can agree. Then sometime, we got the DevSecOps, right? People realize, okay, fine, this is cool. The shift left sounds really cool. We should do more of that. So let's shift left the security, right? And we got a little bit more paranoid. It started being a little bit more normal to talk about that. And nobody got upset when you brought it at a dinner party, right? And then my life changed quite a lot. Somebody came up with this name. And on the bright side, my job security increased overnight, right? Because somebody has to maintain that. But things like monolith became a swear word. Now we all have to do microservices because otherwise it doesn't work. I don't know if you can even see this, but this is the CNCF landscape, the running joke, as in nobody can even read that or remember that. Kubernetes became the de facto way of doing things. And if you didn't like Kubernetes, you were probably not going to get that job after all. I'm going to get back to that. Then a lot of the machine learning stuff came up and people started putting DevSec MLOps on their resumes. I don't know if anybody ever done that, but somebody has to run the systems and it sounds much cooler. It sounds like you need a raise when you do that, right? So I started saying things like that. Obviously, AI powered, automated, so predictive analytics, all of that, the good stuff. And then at some point, we're supposed to be getting, and I'm very happy that Tina had the keynote here because she basically did half of the work for me. But my 4-week-old son would probably be like, okay, cool, but what is it really? So I'm going to get back to that in a second. And now, Triceratops. This is the final and ultimate stage of operations where it's immune to everything, it's perfect, and it's the mythical form of the ops. And that's why I needed Midjourney to actually finally produce these images for me. So if we sum it up, it looks something like this, right? The primordial soup, around 50,000 BC, more or less. DevOps, outside 2007, I think most people will agree with that. DevSecOps, 2012, give or take. MLOps, 2015. Kubernetes, 2016. And never going back to that, AI, we don't know. And finally, the Triceratops. That's we're going to eventually get to, and it's going to be beautiful, and it's going to be amazing and perfect. Can I have a Triceratops now? And the answer is, unfortunately, no, because we haven't even reached the AIOps. If you look at Google Trends, people talk about it, but the line at the bottom, this is AIOps. MLOps is the red line, and this is compared relative to DevOps. DevOps is reigning supreme. What happened to my AI, right? If you go and ask ChatGPT, the answer is basically something to do with AI. I don't know. Leave me alone. But it's going to be efficient, speedy, and accurate. Which makes me think of this guy and the self-driving cars that kind of just keep slipping away. And we get the idea, but somehow we still don't get to use that very much. I don't know how many Tesla drivers here who actually paid for the full self-driving car. No? Nobody? Okay, good. I did. And as I was researching that, the only real larger analysis that I could find was this research from Meta. That's a few months old now. I don't know if you've seen that, but they basically found that if they did this, which is take thousands of changes to one of their monorepos, apply some heuristics on it to reduce the amount of that so that it's actually feasible to put it in an LLM, and they feed it into an LLM, they found that they reach around 42% accuracy in identifying root causes. And this is just one subset of that, which made me a little bit depressed, frankly, because I was promised AIOps at this stage, and part of me was thinking, am I just missing something? Everybody has AI on their website, so where is my AIOps? This is frankly the best thing that I could find. You all heard Tina's keynote this morning, so I'm not going to repeat that, but there are some things that are working, right? Let's go the context gathering, I think probably the best use case, but it's all a co-pilot style thing. Alert triage, mixed results. Some have more luck with that than others. Same for ticket routing, could be very good. And the knowledge-based search, basically a better search, right? They can actually understand a little bit of your intent rather than just keywords. And this is all nice and good, but as far as I'm concerned, this is not stealing my lunch. And I think you can also safely assume that it's not going to steal yours. If not, go and talk to Tina. She probably has ideas on that. And with that, I'm realizing that I'm probably going to have to do another keynote on AIOps when I can actually figure out what it's supposed to mean and what it's actually going to look like.